I want to thank you all for joining us. And at this time, I am going to turn the program over to Lynn April. Lynn is with CISA 8, and I see 9, CISA 8 and 9 there now. Okay. And then also Michael Togus, is that correct? Togus?
Couches. I tell people it's like couches, just with a T in front. And
I will
remembers after that point.
That's great. Couches. All right. And Michael's with Grow North, and they both are going to be sharing some of their exciting programs and initiatives that they've implemented to help with the connection with the future workforce. And I can tell you, every single meeting that I have been in, the workforce attraction, retention, it comes up. Every employer is dealing with it with some form or another. So we really appreciate this opportunity, and I'm going to turn it over to you at this time then, okay?
Great. All right. As Jackie said, my name is Lynn April, and I am at CISA's 8 and 9. So if you're not familiar with the education system, all of the public school districts in Wisconsin are divided into 12 cooperative educational service agencies. That's what CISA stands for. And CISA 8 is Northeast Wisconsin, so that includes Marinette County. CISA 9 is North Central Wisconsin, but Michael is joining me today from North Central Wisconsin from Grow North, because Marinette is one of the counties in Northeast Wisconsin that's actually served by 2 different regional economic development organizations. We'll get into all of this during the presentation, but both Grow North and New North serve your area. So Michael is representing the WEDC today, and his redo to talk to us about that. So let me share my screen. We can jump right into the presentation. So my whole job at CISA's 8 and 9 is academic and career planning, and anything that falls under that umbrella of helping students to be better prepared once they graduate and become our future workforce. So we're here today specifically to talk to you about Inspire Wisconsin, but we're going to take a broad look first at all of career readiness and then narrow down to Inspire. There we go. So we'll do an overview of DPI's career readiness initiatives, which include ACP and pathways, career-based learning experiences, and industry recognized credentials. And then Michael's going to zero in on Inspire and do that deep dive. And we will have time at the end for any questions that you might have. So when we look at career readiness in Wisconsin, it definitely is an inverted pyramid, in that career readiness is kind of our overarching goal for ACP in Wisconsin. So when we talk about anything with helping students to better prepare, it is about career readiness. That's our goal. Then ACP is the process that we use to get there, to get our students where they need to be. Pathways is an organizing structure that we'll take a look at today that's helping students to make connections within one of the 16 career clusters. Career-based learning experiences and industry recognized credentials are ways that students and employers can start connecting with each other through academic and career planning. And then Zello is the tool that we use at the middle school and high school level to really help students to do that career research. And that's what Michael's going to zero in on. I can find my clicker here. So our ultimate goal for career readiness in Wisconsin is every child to graduate college and career ready. And the program that we use to do that is called Academic and Career Planning. This actually went into effect 7 years ago when I started at CISA 8. And the idea is to have districts really prepare students well to graduate and be college and career ready. And the stages that students go through from 6th grade through 12th grade to do that are know, explore, plan, and go. So when the legislation was first passed, the requirement was that starting in 2017-18 school year, and we had a couple of years to prepare for that, all students in grades 6 through 12 would have some kind of career planning every single year to help them prepare for post-graduation. And it included, and this is just some of the pieces of that legislation, but it included things like students completing an academic career plan and updating that every year, for districts really to work with community stakeholders in preparing that plan for students. Districts have to engage parents in that process. And then districts every year are to update their ACP plan take out things that aren't working, put in new pieces to their ACP plan, and then have that approved by their local school board and uploaded to their website. So you should be able to find your district's ACP plan on your district's website. So when we look at all of the moving parts of ACP, there are a lot of things going on. The district, when they're putting together their program, they have a list of questions that the DPI has given them, planning guideline questions so they know what to include in that plan. We also look at buckets of information that students are getting under career readiness or academic readiness, first of all, and under career readiness, social emotional learning, which we used to call employability skills, but really, if we look at the whole gamut of social emotional readiness, it is employability skills. And then we have a lot of great tools that we can use, that districts can use to get students prepared for careers. So one of the things that you'll notice is under each of those headings, there are components in what we know in the education world as pathways, career pathways. So career pathways is kind of a ready-made ACP plan for students that helps them to see, if I'm interested in a particular career cluster, here's how I can prepare in high school, and then what I can follow after high school in that particular career pathway. And it involves all of the things that you see in red there. It's a connected sequence of classes that students take in high school. It includes at least one opportunity for dual enrollment or college credit while they're in high school. It gives students the opportunity to join student organizations, CTE organizations like FBLA and Skills USA. It gives the students the opportunity to do some work-based learning and also to get an industry recognized credential while they're still in high school. And I need to admit somebody there. So this is what a career pathway actually looks like. And we have a number of districts. This is just getting started in our area of the state. So the last 2 years, New North, and just this last year, the Grow North, North Central area of Wisconsin have started creating these career pathways. And it really gives students that career ladder to show them, if I'm interested in, and this is just an example in patient care, if I'm interested in patient care, what are jobs that I could get right out of high school without any extra education? And all of those are live linked to a website called My Next Move. So students can see at a glance, this is what these careers are all about. It gives them a salary range for that particular area of the state, so they have an idea of how much they could make. And then really for students, the important thing is this career ladder, that it shows them, as I increase in education and experience, here's how I can move up that career ladder in any of these pathways. So I could do that in direct care or specifically in nursing. I could do it in behavioral health or in diagnostic services. And then at the bottom of each of those subcategories, also will be live link. The DPI is working on this right now, but it will live link to a document that shows them all of the post-secondary options in their region in that particular subcategory. So if I'm a student that's really interested in nursing, I can see what that career ladder is. And then by clicking on a button, I can also find out all of the different nursing post-secondary opportunities in Northeast Wisconsin, for example. So the career pathways started in a couple of areas of the state in pilot phase, but last year it started across the entire state. So as you can see, Marinette County is in the New North region, but Marinette County also is served by Grow North. So you have the opportunity to have services from a couple of different organizations, and this is by what are called REDOs. It's Regional Economic Development Organization areas in Wisconsin that fall under the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. So that's how the project was rolled out, was by REDO areas. So technically you're in the New North region for the pathway work. So in the New North region, there are 18 counties, including Marinette County. There are 92 school districts, 4 cooperative educational service agencies like me. So along with me in CESA 8, we also have representatives from CESAs 5, 6, and 7. And then the Regional Economic Development Organization that handles the New North region is New North. That's the only one that's in that particular region. You can see the I think it's 7 regions that are across the state. And so technically for New North, Marcy Waldron-Kuhn is the head of the grant for that in the New North region. I head up the grant in the North Central region, but we all really play nicely in the sandbox. So that's why you're hearing from Michael and I today, because we're available. And so we're happy to give you the information regardless of the area of the state that you're in. So the process that the state takes in order to create these regional career pathways is they start at the state level. They get industry partners in whichever career pathway they're looking at. And those state partners are the ones that start creating the template that we then fill in as a region. So they're the ones that come up with the subcategories, and they start filling in some of the careers in those areas. And then we take it from there. We then regionalize those maps by working with our industry partners in our particular region. And we make sure that our map represents what's happening in our region of the state. We work with those regional partners and our higher ed partners as well to build those maps. And then we work with our school districts to implement the maps at the district level. And then those districts then take that information and promote them with their students, their parents, their staff, so that students can understand the opportunities that career pathways allow them. So along with the career ladder page that I already showed you, what the districts then do, they have their own page as part of the career map. And this shows students, when I entered this particular school district, you know, as I'm in high school, here's what I can take while I'm in high school to really prepare me. So if I'm interested in manufacturing, there will be a list of classes from this particular high school. So I know just what classes to take. If I'm interested in going into manufacturing, the district might list some additional classes that are a good idea to take. They would also list if they have a career and student technical organization for advanced manufacturing, that would be Skills USA. If they have any kind of work-based learning opportunity, like youth apprenticeship, they would list that. If students are able to get an industry recognized credential while they're in high school, that would be listed in this section. And most of our high schools have OSHA 10 in the manufacturing area that students regularly get. And then if there are any dual credit opportunities, any kind of college credit opportunities that students can do while they're in high school, that's listed. So as I was saying before, it really is kind of a ready-made academic and career plan for students. If they're coming in as freshmen and they've already done 3 years of academic and career planning and investigating of careers in middle school, and they at least have an idea that, you know, healthcare is really what I'm interested in, or manufacturing is really what I'm interested in. This helps them then get all of the experience they need in order to pursue that particular career pathway, but it's still really broad. And then from there to be investigating careers within that particular pathway. So as I was showing before, the things that a district needs to have in place are that sequence of courses, and it needs to be at least 2 in that particular area, like advanced manufacturing that we were just looking at. Dual enrollment opportunity, at least 1. An industry recognized credential students can get in high school, again, at least 1. Some kind of career-based learning experience of at least 90 hours, and youth apprenticeship is the Cadillac version of that at 450 hours, and then a career and technical student organization. Now, we know that there are a lot of districts we work with in CSAs 8 and 9 that are small districts, and they may not have all of these components in place, at least to start off with when they're doing pathways. So right now, the requirement is that they have to offer at least 3 of the 5. So we have some districts, for example, in the patient care area that don't have a career and technical student organization, which is called HOSA. Health Occupation Student Association. We don't have a lot of districts that have that organization. So it's okay if they don't have it yet. They can choose from the other components, and it's something that, you know, as we continue to work on pathways, we're hoping that districts then are able to start adding more components as they go along. Right now, we have to look at what the state is offering for a pathway in order to know what we work on as a region. So the state has already created templates for patient care, construction, advanced manufacturing, digital technology, 3 different areas of business administration, STEM energy, and they are working this year on education and agriculture and general STEM. So then from there, we look at a region at the labor market information and say what makes the most sense to work on in our region. So when we convened our collaborative in the New North, that includes some of the folks I've already talked about, the CISAs, our regional economic development partners, business and industry partners. We definitely work with folks who are in the industries we're creating the pathways for, to make sure that what we're representing is relevant to that industry today. Workforce development professionals, we've got higher ed partners that are always part of the project, community organizations, supportive service partners. So we make sure that any of our special populations of students, our students of color, our special education students, students living in poverty, that any student has the opportunity to be a part of Pathways, that it's not just for students who already have a lot of experiences, that every one of our students has this same opportunity. And then youth apprenticeship consortiums. So last year was the first year that this became a statewide project, and really last year was about creating the infrastructure, but we also started working on creating some of the pathways. Now that we have some pathways created, this year is all about engaging and promoting those pathways to students so they know how to access and participate in all of the components that are listed on the pathways. And then our goal for 2022-23 is to continue to ensure access and equity are addressed in our regional career pathway access and participation and completion, with an emphasis on our special population. So making sure that all students have access to the pathways. Students who participate in pathways, we see that they are more likely to graduate on time and to pursue some post-secondary credentials. They complete post-secondary education in fewer years because they're already working on some of those dual credit opportunities while they're in high school. They owe less in student loans. They gain access to a valuable network of job contacts, and they gain important workplace readiness skills. And for our employers, it really helps to close that skills gap by exposing students to high demand careers earlier and accelerating them through the talent pipeline faster. And then it allows employers to support education programming to ensure current and relevant learning. And it's a more efficient way to establish and sustain education and business partnerships. So the career-based learning experience with youth apprenticeship is, you may see the acronym CBLE, we call that CABLE. CABLEs are any opportunities that students have to work in the actual workforce and connect with the workforce. So it could be having a classroom speaker come in, it could be a job shadow experience, or it could be that Cadillac work experience of youth apprenticeship. But somewhere along the line, we would love every one of our students to have some kind of career-based learning experience, at least one, if not several, by the time they are in high school. So we see there are a lot of different programs that are out there that our districts are already participating in. And I know there's some great things that are happening in Marinette County to get students connected with businesses and to understand what some of the experiences are that are out there. So that is definitely part of what we're doing with the pathways. And then to drill all the way down. So we started with career readiness, then ACP, then pathways, and then our learning experiences within pathways. And all of this can be wrapped up in Zello and Inspire. So that's really the tool we use to help students to make that connection to local businesses. And Michael is going to talk about how Inspire can do that. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then you just tell me when you want to advance.
Sure. So I'm Michael Tauchis with Grow North. Next screen. If you're not familiar with what Grow North is, we're kind of the 8 most northeastern counties in the state. So we have some territory that overlaps with the New North. So those kind of gray shaded counties, the 3 on the furthest northeast. So we basically do a lot of the similar work that the New North does. It's one of 9 regions of economic development that we work with the WEDC on, and we focus a lot on, particularly in my role, workforce cultivation. We do a lot with housing development and broadband as well. Brittany Beyer, our executive director, is the chair of the governor's task force on broadband. So she's focusing a lot of time and effort on making sure that it gets built out properly for everyone in the state, which, as we've seen, is absolutely vitally important, particularly over this last year. So we kind of think of our role as economic development groups as like the middle tier between industry associations and local chambers of commerce, or your county economic development groups, and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, which the state usually tries to allocate funding to. And so we kind of play that middle role, the middle tier, and then we kind of bounce between a lot of the meetings in both places to make sure that people are being heard at the state level, and then we can take state resources and allocate them. So a lot of large picture projects is what we're kind of tasked with as an economic development organization. Next slide. And as you heard Lynn talk about, she and I both now work kind of on the CISA 8 and 9 region. So we're doing a lot of the career pathways work. Like I said, I do a lot of broad picture things. So the $130 million that the governor just announced for workforce development initiatives, we're planning to start hosting childcare conversations on that. That's where we're going to focus our time and effort. We do, try and find grant-based funding for programs to roll out on regional levels. We're working with developing programs with the Department of Workforce Development for broadband apprenticeship programs, or a drone flying technology. We can build like a regional hub for things that a lot of regions aren't doing just yet, and we're trying to push that agenda. And if this is just an open invitation, if you'd ever like to get involved in directing sort of the focus of where I'm tasked with, we have openings on our workforce cultivation committee with Grow North. So if you have an interested business, point them my direction. We'd love to hear what you'd like to see more of. So next slide. So Inspire is one of those large programs that I end up working with. And this is designed to connect students, with actual job experiences and actual employers for the opportunities that they want to provide. We want to make sure that every student, is aware of what actually exists in their own local communities, so that they don't feel like they need to, leave the communities that they already know and love and have family in. They don't feel like they need to go down to a Milwaukee of the world. So, next slide. And so this is now officially statewide. So it's not just me working on this project. There are many versions of myself all throughout the state, but this program talks to itself. No matter where you are in the state, every classroom is going to be able to access this. And so businesses that are listed on the Inspire program, so if you've got a business in Marinette, a student in Green Bay is going to be able to find your opportunities that you're providing, or a student in Wausau or Eau Claire. Like, they're all going to be able to see the opportunities that you have. So if you have a very unique role that you're looking to fill, and a student is looking for that specific career, you're going to come up no matter where that student is in the state. So right now we're seeing a lot of, particularly with 2020, it is drastically accelerated the rate of retirements. And a lot of knowledge is being lost in terms of what's available in the job market. And so we're seeing somewhat of a skills gap starting to become much more pronounced than it used to be. And we want to make sure that the up and coming workforce of the future is going to be actually skilled in the exact right way that the workforce, or the employers and the jobs of the future are actually going to need. And right now we're just trying to make those conversations much easier, and Inspire is the program that we're using to foster that. Next slide. So this Inspire, it kind of gives employers the ability to have individual conversations with students and teachers. As a part of this, it helps build relationships in local communities, and you can. It brings a way for employers to make sure that students are even aware that their business and opportunities and those types of jobs exist. I mean, not every individual in every community knows exactly what's going on, and this, as part of the academic and career planning, it really does help teachers be able to show to all of the students exactly what's there. Next slide. And so, like I said, businesses that are part of this, they can pick and choose whatever they would like to do. Like if they want, if they just want to give tours, perfect. They just check that box on the form, and we'll start setting up tours with your company, or you can help have conversations with a teacher to make that happen. If you want to be a guest speaker at these events, we can make that happen as well. And like Lynn said, if you're going for the full-on program, you need youth apprenticeships, this is the tool to make that happen. And so as now that this is a statewide program where we actually have staff dedicated to this, we're going to be looking to also get input back from all of the employers that are involved on this, and to continue developing how we're going about it. We'd like to highlight, these success stories on social media. And like I said, this is just a great tool for actually connecting with students and building up that workforce of the future. So you've got me or other individuals around the state. We'll if you've got any questions on how the profile works or functions, that's what we're here. We'll help walk you through that process. And because every business is going to be interacting with students, any business that would like to sign up for this will be prompted to have that individual signing up and go through a background check, just because of the connection with students. We're making the system as absolutely safe as possible. So yeah, companies are free to decide whatever makes sense for them. Like there's no obligation any particular way. You take what you like. You don't have to do anything more than you want to. And if anything ever changes, you can either go on your profile and change that directly, or you can ask me to do it. So as a step to get started, I will drop that link into chat here. Any business that would be interested in this, and again, okay, so there's currently there's no charge for this. There's no fee to the business. There's no fee for the background check. Nothing. It's all taken care of on our side through the funding that we've got. Now I know that a lot of these programs are being funded, right now just because of what the difficulties that are going on with the economy. So I have no idea how long that's going to persist, but for now, there's absolutely no downside to signing up on this, making sure that your business is there front and center in front of students, and providing opportunities to not just hopefully help you in the short term for finding workers, but also helping to build the future, the jobs and skills that you're going to need specifically for your business 5-10 years from now, as these students eventually enter the workforce.
Actually, I have it up, Michael, so I think I'll drag across just so they can see what it looks like.
Perfect. Thank you. I was planning to do that myself.
There you go. So when students get into Zello, this is the program that they use to do their career exploration. When they have Inspire turned on, and it is a separate thing from Zello itself, it's an extra add-on. So we do the WEDC has been paying for the license to have it turned on. But students will see 2 extra buttons. Actually, they will see another one in another spot as well. But companies is really what we're talking about. So if students click on companies, they can search for just random companies. They can search for companies within their particular city. So if I put in Marinette, I know we have some here in Marinette. So Bay Area Medical Center has one, Employment Options, Fincantieri, Keene Chevrolet, the Marinette School District, because our school districts are absolutely employers as well. NWTC Marinette, Prevea, Samuel Pressure Vessel, the cottages. So just to give you an idea of what students will see when they click on it, we try to make the pages as student friendly as possible in the description. So the description is going to be a little bit different than what you would see if you went on their website. We always answer who we are is one thing, and who we hire is something that students are interested in. This is a great opportunity for you to talk about employability skills, because if students see that on your page, it really helps to back up that teaching staff that keeps telling students, you know, critical thinking skills are important, communication is important, being on time is important. If they also see it here, that's a great way to back that up. If you've got a video that talks about your company, we can upload that. If you have somebody at your company that's willing to answer questions about your company, you can have a huddle turned on, and that actually allows students to type in questions, and then whoever the person is at your company that would answer those questions would get an email when a question pops up from a student. Gives basic information on your location and a link to your company website. And then if you have opportunities, as Michael was just talking about, that your business is offering, you can link those as well. So here you can see that Fincantieri is open to youth apprenticeship, co-op programs, internships, informational interviews, job shadows, on and on. So students can sign up for those opportunities right through Inspire. And then it also lists all of the different careers, or as many as we can find in Zello. Zello doesn't list everything, but important careers at your company. So students can see, if I'm really interested in Fincantieri, here are all the different career opportunities that are available there. So this is what a landing page would look like, and the types of information that would be on it for students. And students usually not doing a random search for the businesses in their town, but they would probably more likely do it by clicking on careers. And while they're searching careers, they can click on businesses through the careers and find out information. So mine is going to be, I'm going to type in a career rather than going with mine, because mine are all education things. But if we have like I'm going to put in manufacturing manager, because I know we've got a lot of our companies that have that. So if students are already looking at this particular career, this is all of the kind of great information that they would get in Zello. But here you can see when they click on companies, now it's not just random companies, it's all the companies that hire for this particular career that they'll see. And then if they have a question about a manufacturing manager, for example, there's also a huddle for that. So every one of these careers has a huddle. And if you've got folks at your business that are interested in answering questions about their career in general, they can be huddle connections in that way as well. And then they can answer questions of students. But this time, if I click on companies and let's go, now only the companies that hire manufacturing managers are going to be popping up in alphabetical order and across the entire state. So if students, as Michael was saying, you know, from Madison, from Eau Claire, from anywhere in the state are looking for information about your company, they're going to see it across the entire state, because this is a statewide program. They can limit that by searching for their particular town, but if they're just looking for information on a career, they're going to see a whole lot of options. In this case, 151 companies that are hiring manufacturing managers. So that is what Zello looks like for students, and what your page could look like if you have that information out there. And now I have to see, there we go. So your information, I think I have that on the end of mine as well. So if you've got any questions on academic and career planning, the DPI has just a ton of information on that. There's also a DPI page on regional career pathways. We've got the Inspire flyer connected here, and the youth apprenticeship also has a couple of great flyers and our information. So I'm going to, while we're asking for questions, create a link to this entire slide deck, and then you will have links to all of these live links on the last slide. So if you want more information, you can get into any of that. So I'm going to stop sharing and go to any questions you might have, because that was a lot.
So Lynn, this is Jackie. I was wondering, with the who drives the kids to look at these sites? Where does this come from? Which class in school, or which? It's been a while since I've been in school. You know, this might have been like homeroom. They would do this, or so. Where is this? Is it throughout all the classes they're encouraging the kids to go on to this, or where exactly is this being driven from the school?
That's a really great question, Jackie, and it really depends on the school district. Every district has it set up a little bit differently how they approach academic and career planning. So, and it also might be different from the middle school to the high school. So you might have in one district that the students have a extended learning period, like a common study hall, and once a month they do ACP activities, and that's when they're going into Zello. In another district, they might be doing it, especially at the middle school, a lot of times they'll do it within an actual class. So it might be that their English class is doing it, you know, once a week, and that's where they're doing those things. So every district is really very different, and you should be able to see that in the ACP plan that they have up on the website.
So you'd see in their ACP plan where they plan on implementing this educational component,
right,
in your district.
Yeah, we frequently go into districts. I do through CC 8 and 9, and do training with the whole teaching staff. So, you know, if there's any time that a teacher can get kids into Zello to do career research. When I used to be in the classroom, we did a whole career research paper fourth quarter with our sophomores, and they were in these types of programs doing career research all the time. So we absolutely encourage district staff that if there's a way to embed this into what you're doing in your classroom, that would be awesome. But most of the districts also have students going in during a dedicated ACP time as part of their plan.
Okay. And so the Zello, that's what the students are going into. What is the Inspire platform then? I guess I'm just a little bit confused, where I thought they were going into Inspire. They're going into Zello. What is the Inspire platform?
The Inspire is specifically all the business information. In Zello by itself, you won't see those buttons for companies or experiences or huddles. Those are only added if Inspire is turned on in a district. So students and staff never see that they're actually going into a different platform when they go into all of the business information on Inspire, but they really are. It's a paid upgrade to Zello. I have no idea why the company set it up this way. But yeah, so on the business end of things, when we're out talking to businesses about getting their information in, we talk about Inspire because that's the platform that it's on. But when students are accessing it, it's in Zello. They just don't know that it's another platform that they're going into.
So that makes sense. And so there is no charge for a business to put their information on Inspire. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying right now? Because of certain funding and grants that are coming through government entities.
Yep.
Correct?
At least in our region, between Michael and I, and what we're doing up here in Northeast and North Central Wisconsin, we have our time covered through other grant opportunities. So we're able to do this without a cost to the businesses right now. As Michael said, we can't always guarantee that funding, so we don't know what will happen in the future. But, you know, I think businesses should take advantage of it now while it's free.
Right.
I agree.
Right. And so, and one more question. what kind of connection is there then to the college? Like as you guide these students through an ACP plan and you hopefully connect them where they're researching these companies, does it just stop at, when they graduate from high school, or is there some way they can keep connecting once they're in a, UW or NWTC or wherever it is they are, because, that's when they're still exploring their careers, even though they're already in, higher learning, they're still exploring. And they might the connections might start making more sense to them post high school. So is there that connection too?
I would say the connection to the higher eds is through pathways. With the pathways that we're building, the higher eds are part of our executive team, our higher ed partners, and we sit down with them with whatever map it is we're building. And I wish the DPI had them uploaded already, because then I could show you, but actually I can see if I can pull up a page really quickly. But students will be able to access that pathway information even after they're out of high school, so they can continue to find the pathway information, and all of our higher ed programs are in those pathways. So we are connecting all the time with our higher ed partners. They're very familiar with what's happening with pathways as students are getting this experience. So we're hoping that students do take that career pathway that they've been building and take it with them as they leave high school and engage in post-secondary, because it's got great information that they can use there as well.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I agree. It needs to continue past the high school into that higher ed. Thanks.
Brandy, did you have a question? I saw you unmuted before.
Yes, I did. So our main office is located down in Pewaukee. However, we do have a shop and material yard up in Marinette. And so that's our connection with this call. However, I'm wondering, is there a way to work within multiple regions, or will we have to just pick one?
Once your information is in Inspire, it's available across the entire state. Because we know that there are some businesses that have multiple locations, we have been encouraging businesses to connect with the Inspire folks. So that would be Michael and I, wherever your main office is. And then once you get your information in, we can list all of the different locations that you have.
Okay, because you are our first connection. So then I guess wondering if you are open and able to connecting us with who we would need to, or if we can continue working with you.
Yep, absolutely. So are you on the phone, or do you have access to a computer?
I'm here on the computer, yes.
Oh, you are? Okay. Why did I just...
My lighting's horrible, but...
I can't even see where I am. Sometimes having two screens is not a good thing. I did drop into the chat the link to the slide deck. So if you go to the last page on the slide deck, you can just email either Michael or me or both of us, and we can definitely connect you with either. We can immediately get you into the system through us, or we can connect you to whoever we need to connect you to in the Inspire that would make the most sense for you.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Lynn, this is Jackie again. With a business or an employer, they sign up for Inspire. They're looking for workforce. They know their needs. Do you work with them to show them how they can make some of these connections? Because so I'm an employer, I sign up, I say I have this job, I need these skills. How do I get my message out to make that attractive to a student, or what tools do you have? I mean, do you encourage them to say job shadowing would work perfect for the type of job that you're looking for? Consider that. So do you kind of coach the employers in some of the things they should be doing?
The DPI just produced a really nice brochure on all of the different work-based learning and what that looks like. So that would be one thing we would share with employers. I'll give you an example. I just met with an employer in Oconto. And so as I sat down and talked to her and showed her what Inspire looked like, she looked at the list of the work-based learning or opportunities and checked off the ones that they thought they would be interested in, and Youth Apprentice was one. Well, I'm the Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator for some of the districts here in CISA 8, and I also work with the Youth Apprenticeship Coordinators in Oconto and Oconto Falls. So I immediately sent an invitation or an introduction email to the 2 YA coordinators and the school counselors in Oconto and Oconto Falls, and included this gal in them so that they all had each other's connection information, and said, you know, this company just got into Inspire. They're very interested in youth apprenticeship. Here's their information and here's the contact there. So please reach out to her as you have students interested in these kind of fields. So yes, to answer your question, as much as we can, you know, we can't guarantee that businesses are going to find employers because they get into Inspire. We can't possibly make, you know, that immediate kind of connection, but as much as possible, we make sure that school districts are aware of the businesses that are on Inspire and the things that they would like to do, so that as school districts are, you know, hopefully getting back to normal eventually, they're able to send students out and do, like, you know, company tours and job shadows and those kinds of things. So yeah, as much as possible we do.
Thank you.
And I did just want to, and I know our time is almost up, I am going to intentionally share my screen this time to show you what, to answer your question about higher ed and post-secondary, Jackie. When students, for example, if students are interested in manufacturing and they go into the pathway and the sub-pathway for electromech, and they click on that link on the bottom, they immediately then will get this page, which will show them here registered apprenticeships these are North Central Wisconsin school districts. So post-secondary partners. So our post-secondary partners there are Midstate, NWTC, NTC, Nicolay. But we'll have the exact same thing in the New North region. Certificate options that are available at our post-secondaries, technical diploma options, associate degree options, and how they transfer to bachelor's degrees and at what institutions, and then bachelor's degree options. And all of them are live linked to our higher ed partners. So as part of those pathways, when you ask about, you know, how we connect this to our higher eds, this is how we do it. And we absolutely hope that students continue to use the pathways as they graduate, because it really has all the information they need in one place.
Lynn, just glancing at those, I was trying to read through them really quick for you on there, but knowing that NWTC Marinette and the UW Green Bay Marinette Campus have a special coalition working group on there, there is some real specific information that pertains to the Marinette campuses of our locations. So looking at electromech, for example, the EET program, that would indicate that students can earn that right here in Marinette. Mm-hmm. If there's an opportunity in there, instead of just saying UW Green Bay, if we can say UW Green Bay Marinette Campus in there, mm-hmm. For the pathways that are specifically in sync between the TC and the UW campuses here in Marinette, that would be great, because we do want to showcase that we are partnering, but it's also opportunities for students to earn those right here without leaving the area.
Right. And because that was the North Central information, because we have NWTC on there, it makes sense for me to specifically put those programs, your programs in there from the Marinette campus. So I will connect with you on that to find out what I should include.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.